Peace, Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Duke Knowledge Radio, place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge Born a Lot, and y'all see who I got in the building right now. You understand? We got the warrior in the building, and she ain't playing no games today. Normally we got the jovial, loving, kind sister mama in the building, but not so much today. She got a message of wisdom. Live from the west side of Ghana. So without any further ado, it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce to some, present to others, my warrior sister. Akushika Queenin is in the building. Aquaba.
Aquaba, Madase. Hey, what's up, people? This interview right here is just love, and I just have to make sure that you know what you're doing when you're repatriating, or even if you're visiting. My name is Shika Queenin, and I'm coming to you from the west side of Ghana, Africa. Yesterday, March 1st, marked my first full year in Ghana. So celebration, happy time for me, So this whole year has been challenging. It's been full of peace. It's my lifelong. It's my lifelong dream to come here. So I'm very happy. There's some mistakes that I made when I repatriated, and I'll pass those along to you. And then there's some that other people made that I'm gonna pass on to you watching. Now I know you, knowledge born Allah. You were in the military, right?
Right.
You and I both. I was in the military, army. What branch were you in?
In the army. It's only
Yeah.
one branch.
I said in the army, right? Okay, so you was in army. So you remember when you used to go to your duty
Yeah.
station, and or it was overseas. No matter where you went, you had a briefing, and they told you. They
Right.
said, "Hey, these are areas that you need to stay out of. This is what you look for. This is off limits. Make sure that you are
Right.
aware of where you're going and what you're doing while you're here at this duty station." And no matter where we went, in the US or overseas, it was the same exact thing. Now,
Right.
you remember your parents or whoever were your guardians when you started going on your first time to the store and getting little things for the house, and they told you, be careful of this street, cross the street when you get here, don't do this. You remember that too. So these are things that we know growing up, what we should and should not do. Now, it seems like when some people get to another country, especially Ghana, they get romanticized as if, wow, I'm home and everything is going to be beautiful and the people love me. And no, this is my no state. No. You still have to keep your wits about yourself. You still have to know that you don't know the people. You know what I'm saying? You still have to know, hey, if I was in New York, if I was in Chicago, if I was here, there, the things that you do here, you wouldn't do there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so my first topic would be, let's talk about touring. Now, there's a lot of sisters that I know or I met while here. And I said, so how's your time? How's everything doing? They seemed like they were afraid, because what they did was they went online and they found someone on the continent, never met them before. So they're using this person, Ghanaian, I love my people, but you don't know that person. You didn't do research. You didn't do anything. You just said, okay, I'm going to pay you and I'm going to go with you. Where would you do that? It seemed like when people come to Ghana, that's what they do. If you were going to Chicago, you would be like, oh, let me jump out my car and I'm just going to meet the first person here. And could you take me and tour me around Chicago? Am I right? You wouldn't do that.
Right.
All right. So when people get
I
here,
need a no.
what'd you
I need
say?
a no stick too.
You
I need a no
no,
stick too. So I can show
no,
you. No.
no. You go get you a stick. I'll wait for you. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. That doesn't make sense. That's not logical, right? So the sisters, when I met them, I'm like, well, how's your time? It's okay, but I don't know. It's not what I expected, and I'm staying someplace, and I don't know where it's at, and it's just one room, and or I don't know these people, and I'm like, okay, I'll pass off my phone number. I will. I'm like, call me if you need something. Just call this number. Find me on Facebook. You have Wi-Fi. They don't call. So they continue on with the people. And then later I find out that they hate Ghana or they hate their experience. And it was horrible. But see, that's your fault. We have to be more careful and mindful of what we're doing and how we're doing, especially when we go into another country. You know what I mean? You would never do that anywhere else. Okay, so when you're coming on a tour or you want to come visit Ghana, join travel groups. Like on Facebook, they have Ghana travel groups. Join these travel groups because you have a wealth of information there from people like me who will post different topics or answer questions for people who are traveling to the country, like Ghana or even Africa. You have people from all over. So join some travel groups. Get in there and see, about tour guides that people recommend, or things that they recommend, places where you can go, how to be safe. I'm not saying that it's not safe here, but you don't know the language. You may get tour guides who have no idea about the history between Africa and the diaspora. They can't even give you a tour because these are some people without license and they want to make money. They're trying to make a living, and I can understand that, but it's at your expense.
Right.
So you're not going to get out of it what you want to get out of this experience. It should be a great experience for you, So my tip would be, like I said, is to join these travel groups and talk to people. If you see someone in there like me, we have a tour company, Royal Roots and Culture. You can ask people about that. You need to find people who are transparent. That way you can follow their blueprint. Oh, they've been here, they've been talking to here, they're involved in here. These are the people that they know. But to come blindly and just trust somebody just because they say, oh, you're beautiful, we're going to get on that love thing too. No, okay? Okay? So if you're finding people blindly and you expect something great to happen, it may not happen. Some people it work out for them, some people it don't. But if you're traveling solo, even a couple or group, you have to make sure you do your due diligence to find out the background of these people, and what their experience is, and what are some other things? If you see some people, you might have mutual friends. Like you and I, we have mutual friends. So I may see somebody on your Facebook page that's selling something. And I say, hey, Knowledge, you think this person is good for me to, do business with? And you'll be, yeah, sure, they're good. They've done this, that. That's how you do it. You just don't get up, go, and just.
Or I say, hell no, don't give that motherfucker no money.
See, but it's the honest truth,
Right. I'll be like, that's a good person. Money though. Hell no.
It's true. And the other thing is that most places that you go to, or they have travel advisories, they also have a tourism board in each country. In Ghana, not in Ghana, on the continent. So on the tourism board, they have different links that you can follow. Okay, so that's it on coming here if you're touring or you're repatriating. Even the same thing with repatriating. The thing is that bothers me, and this is one thing that I was trying to do. I was trying to send money. Telling you, I never did. I was trying to send money to get an apartment. And most people will do that. Most people will send money to buy land. How could you send money to someone you don't know? You don't know the location. You don't know where you're going, but somebody shows you a house or an apartment. You say, yes, that's it. Now, if you were in the United States and you want to go look at an apartment, you look it up in the newspaper, you look online, and you find the apartment, you meet the person who's selling, you do your contracts, right? When you get here, or you come in here, You just want to send people just want to send the money and expect people to do stuff for them. No, you don't do that. Seriously. How could you do that if you never come? You have to come here first, see the area, meet the people, check their credentials, right? Would you do it in the States? Would you buy land unseen with documents that you don't even know if these documents are real? Without going to the you have to sign these things. You have to go to actual official places in the Lands Commission and talk with these people and get these researches done on this property to see if it's litigation free. You have to meet these people. So if somebody comes to you and say, yeah, I have land, yeah, I send me your money, and we'll have that land ready when you get here. No, don't do that. Because you'll lose your money. Maybe it worked for some people, but for me, I'm not taking that chance. So don't do that. And people who repatriate, they say, oh, I can send you money. I won't take it. My first answer would be to come to Ghana, come see for yourself. Do it the right way. Don't do it where it's going to give you trouble and headache later. You know, I'm honest. I don't want your money. Don't send me nothing. Come here. Let's go around. Let's do the real estate thing. See if you like it. Meet the chiefs. Meet this. See everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm just surprised and amazed at that. And then people get upset and they want to blame the people here. People are going to take advantage of you if you let them. If you don't know, then don't get into any contracts and don't get into any business with someone if you don't know. There's so many hostels here that you can stay at, so many hotels, so many bed and breakfasts that you can stay here while you are looking over the land and seeing, you know, what locations you want to be in, meeting the right people, you know. So I would say, no, don't do that. Don't send money. And if you're not here, would you send money? I'm gonna keep asking you because you're the only one with me right now.
Hell no. Not no, hell no. No.
No,
It's not.
And people lose their minds. It's the romanticism of it. They think everybody is. You can go to any country, like Germany. I was in Germany, stationed there. You get ripped off in Germany too. You get ripped off in any tourist spot. You can go to Italy, Paris, anywhere. You're gonna get ripped off because you're a tourist or they see you as a tourist. And it's the same thing here. If you allow people to take advantage of it.
Food out there, they're like, oh, yeah. This is a good meal. You a gazelle and a pack full of lions.
It's true. You're somebody's meal for that day. And they don't think nothing of it.
Right.
You know, they don't think anything of it. And speaking on land, you know, if you buy land and say you do come here and you buy it, don't leave your land. Don't just buy, oh, I have it. It's not like the States where you can buy land and you can just leave it. It's yours. Nobody is going to mess on it. Nobody is going to come in and put a house on it. You know what I mean? But if you come here and you leave your land for 1-2 years and you don't have anybody to watch it for you, I would recommend that. Always have somebody in place that can come and check on your land if you're not in the country, you know, because that way it's always monitored, you know, and you make sure nobody's there. Now, if somebody does build on your land, which happens, and you come back and it's a nice little cute house on there, nice little family living on it with a little farm. If you can't find that person who sold you that land or it was a fraudulent sale, you're out of luck. Or if you bought the land and somebody did put a house on it, you're going to have to compensate them for the house that they built, and they have to move somewhere else. They have to move somewhere else. So it's going to be your responsibility. Even though they put the house there, somebody probably said, hey, you can have this land. Did the same thing to them, you know. So you just have to make sure you have someone here as well that's going to watch your land while you're gone. And you got to put a fence around it too, you know. Is something wrong? Sorry. Okay. So you have to be careful when you're doing business in Ghana. You have to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. Hello? You still there?
I hear you.
Write it down. So we talked
I'm
about.
right here. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
right
okay. What's the next one? What did we talk about? Oh,
Have you had any experiences like that where you heard someone told you or an incident like that
yes,
occurred?
it happens to even Ghanaians here. It's just not, US. I mean, it happens to them too. Everybody it's not, people make it seem like it's just diaspora, but it's not. It happens to Ghanaians. Ghanaians get taken advantage of as well. So it's not just, us. You have people opportunists. You have opportunists. You got us in the United States who are opportunists. You know that?
Right.
We got taken advantage of in the States too. So, but it's
Right.
stories about that here as well. And it's sad, but you have to do your due diligence, like I said, to make sure that these things don't happen. Make sure you have your contacts. You have, like I said, the people who are active in the community. They have an African American society here also in Ghana. And they have a lot of African American clubs, diaspora clubs here as well. So if you can get in contact with those, and all those things can be Googled, online. And they may reference you to someone else, or like they're referencing you to people. Some people have been here like 40, 50 years. So they build their contact list and their connections and things. And those are the people, and those people are on YouTube, and they're also on the internet, and you can find them as well. And I think that's the most important thing, is to build a network of people before you come. Build a network of people who are doing business here if you're interested in business, And my note here says, if you're buying land, the land needs to be developed. So if you see someone saying, oh, we have land for sale, and it's just, all you see is bush, woods, don't go for that. Who's going to clear that out for you?
Right.
How are you going to get materials to this place? There's a lot of groups out here that have free land. You hear free land, free land. Okay, free land is good, but it's always a cost for something free. You may develop that land,
Right.
you may buy something, but who's not to say someone's going to come in there and take it from you after you develop it?
Right.
So, one of my friends, BK Vidal, he has such great visions about having diasporas buy land together. Say you got 50 of you, and you all put in like $2,000-3,000 or $5,000 all together, and you buy a big portion of land, and you can settle there as a community. That's a great idea. But you still have to take the precautions of it. And you have to be careful of people who are here, because some diasporans here, they will take advantage of you as well. So they will take advantage of you as well. The next
Now, can
topic.
you own land, or
Huh?
only the 99-year lease? Can you actually
Yes.
own land, or is it
You can't actually,
99-year lease?
you will never actually own land. What I'm looking into now is, like, when you get your citizenship, does the citizenship entitle you to land ownership? But for right now,
Mm.
from what I see, it's just 99-year lease, but you can keep passing it down to generations. So with my sons, when I die, I would pass that to them. They'll have it for the rest of that lease and their 99 years, and then their grandchildren, and you keep passing it down. If you don't have anybody, then you can leave it maybe to, like me, I'm adopted by a tribe, the God tribe. And if, say, I don't have children, I can um, give it back to them. You see? So, yeah, it's the 99 year lease. Mm-hmm. You got any more questions on that one?
So I heard about you made reference to, and I heard that similarly in other instances of people getting adopted by tribes. What is that process like? Can you demystify that a little bit
Hmm? What you say?
in regards to people? Like you just made reference to being adopted by a tribe. Like I've heard people make that reference before. Can you kind of break that down a little bit? What does that mean?
You have tribes who, like, when I say adopted, I'm just saying that you have people within the tribe who will help you repatriate or help you along your way here. It's like a guide.
Okay.
I have to try. Okay, so I'm gonna change the topic. I have to change the topic. Um, so what was the next one? We were on love.
Yeah. Show 'em the stick again. Show 'em the stick.
This is you like this thing. This is all in love. It's love. No. Please stop.
Mm.
Could you hold on for 1 second? 1 minute. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
My sister kicking facts from lessons learned. Y'all see that, and a lot of things have happened, and a lot of things will continue to happen if you don't maintain your situational awareness. So you have to keep your wits about you and maintain situational awareness at all times, anywhere that you are, and trust your instincts, trust your intuitiveness. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you get referrals, righteous referrals, or you end up getting got any place. They see that passport. That passport mean dollars. You understand? They see that passport and they think, you know, you a walking ATM machine. You understand what I'm
That's,
saying? So
and that's
you gotta
anyone
pay
too.
attention. Right,
And that
anywhere.
and
Pay
that's
attention.
anyone because you oh, you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, that's anyone. I mean, even if you're a Ghanaian and you lived in the UK, when you come back, they still think that.
Right,
What you just said, because you
right,
lived abroad, and anybody who goes abroad, when they come back, people think you just have it, you know.
right.
But so we were on the topic of now we're talking about love. Excuse my interruption. So the topic of love, like here, it's 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 a beautiful place with beautiful people, and when someone says, I love you, I really love you, it's a feeling that people feel. But sometimes people will use it to take advantage of you too. You know what I mean? Like when I first got here, it's funny. And I realized in me, I'm a heart person. So I'm a love person. So I always got to make sure that I contain myself, because not everyone is nice or kind. So I had to learn this growing up. So the first year I was here, I think I was going to the mall, and it's my first trip out by myself. And this taxi driver, oh, you're so beautiful. I love you. And I'm like, you love me? Look, you love me, really? But of course it's a term of endearment. But sometimes, you know, like I said, you can go anywhere in the world. It could be the same thing. Italy is known for their lovers. You know, they love women and they'll tell you the same thing and they'll woo you. And the next thing you know, you're in that gondola and they stop somewhere and your purse is gone. You know what I mean? This is Italy. So, you know, but here you just have to be careful. You can't lose your mind anywhere you go, especially as a woman. You know, I can only speak on my perspective. I can't speak on the male perspective because I haven't only heard one or two stories about, you know, things happening to people as far as falling in love. You have to know too when you're here, when you marry into family, you're their wife or you're their husband. So it's a whole group thing. It's something that we lost in the diaspora, but you still have to make sure that you are in charge of your money and you're in charge. The same thing you would do in the United States now. You know, you have your accounts and you have your account and that account, but you just have to be sure that you have your things for yourself and you don't go overboard with allowing access to your funds. You know what I mean? Because if you're here and you're repatriating, you have to make sure that you have enough money and you have enough funds in order to get you to your goal. Now, if you meet someone and you fall in love and it ends up it wasn't love, it was just to take advantage, then that's your fault. Again, you know, you can blame it on another person, but ultimately it's your fault. So you have to keep your wits. You know, just like in the States, if you find someone that you care about, you just don't automatically start showing your money and giving out your money to people. You know what I'm saying? You get to know them. The same things that you do in the States, you apply it to no matter where you go. Because if you don't, then you can find yourself in, you know, trouble, or you lost everything and now you have to go back. You know, you just have to apply the same rules as you did when you were there. And that goes with the men too. And then some people come over here, it's the opposite. Some diasporans come over here and they want to marry a Ghanaian so that they can stay in the country. Everybody always thinks it's other people that want to get out. I tell you, the majority of the people are curious about the United States, but many of them don't even want to go. They said, I'm not going up there to get killed. I see the news. They see the news. They watch. You know what I'm saying? So some people come over here to take advantage of Ghanaians. You know what I mean? But no one talks on that either. So we just have to keep our wits about ourselves on every situation when you're here, business wise. Never pay someone before you have that work done. I learned that. You have to, if you do the work, then you get paid. It's the same in the States. I don't know why I did that, but you know, you do the job, and after the job is completed and you check it out and make sure it's up to your standards, then you pay the person, you know. But you have to make sure that you the job is completed before you pay. And oftentimes you may have to buy the supplies to get the job done. But if that's the case, then you go with the person to see exactly what is being bought. And that's with business. What is the other one that I wanted to talk about? Going back to the rental part. When you sign your lease, if you have any clauses in there that you want, say you building a house and you want to be let out of that lease within those 2 years, make sure you write that in your rental. I'm going back. I had to backtrack because I forgot something. Also, don't pay any money until you check out the place and make sure everything in that house is fixed. Make sure the water bill is paid before you move in.
Mm.
Because if it's not, then you're going to have to end up paying that water bill if you can't get in touch with that landlord. And sometimes people do not answer their phone and they won't answer it, and you're stuck with that, which is not right. Um, but basically, yes, love, be careful about that. You have to make sure it's honest because sometimes it's not. Knowledge born Allah.
Man, that's real. So you got anything else that you wanted to cover? I know, like there was like I don't know if a specific situation kind of prompted this conversation in this manner, but I overall to kind of share and hit home. So I just was kind of letting it go free flow.
I would have to say, coming up to the year, like I said, March 1st was my first year anniversary. And you know how if one situation happens, you tend to gather them all. So I was doing an overall review because one situation did happen with me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to do this interview so that I can share my experience or share what to do and what not to do. So, yes, this came out of an experience that happened with me. So that's the reason why this came up. And I was like, you have to let people know. And there's, like I said, there's two sides. You have the diasporans and you also have the Ghanaians. You have very, very sweet, loving, trusting Ghanaians as well. And sometimes diasporans come over here may take advantage of them. Sometimes, or most, sometimes they take advantage of us. But like I said, some people see you as a whole meal, regardless of regardless of where you are, where you come from. You're a
Right.
whole meal, and if you can get over, you can get over. And it's the same like I experienced there in the States. But we just have to, like I said, do diligence when you're coming over here. Don't romanticize anything. Keep your head about yourself, just the same way you do if you're back home. The things you do back home, you wouldn't do home, don't do here. And don't blame it when you get here because you wouldn't do these things when you're in the States. Honestly, you would not. You would not do it. And I say you cannot blame anybody because you can't blame anyone for it. Some things you may can blame somebody for, but if it's something that you can stop, change, or um, be aware of, or make sure it doesn't happen because you are dotting your I's and crossing your T's, then okay, you did as much as you can in this situation. Anything else after that, okay, it's not your fault. But don't come over just free willy, let's just, let's just trust everyone. You can't. It's not logical. It's just not logical. And again, join some of these groups like African Americans in Ghana. Okay. That's one group. Another group is um, Ghana expats. I believe that's the diasporan group. It's two of them. One is diasporan and one is not. But those are two groups that maybe you can join. And from there are more groups that people will share for anybody that's coming over to Ghana. And again, you have Ghana, you have Kenya, you have all these other groups that's out there on Facebook, and they're pretty good, and they will lead you in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Where you can research and you can make contacts with people in the countries that you may want to visit or you may want to repatriate to. And we, like I said, Royal Roots and Culture, LTD Limited, we're on Facebook and we have repatriation service. We have tour service there as well. And we are licensed in Ghana. So, and we're very transparent on everything that we do. So anything that you click on, it will lead to something else. It'll lead to concerts. It will lead to events. Like I said, we're very transparent. So if anybody had any questions or they were thinking about coming, you can hit up Royal Roots and Culture LTD, that's limited. You'll find it. It's only one on the Facebook, or you can find us on Instagram with the same name. And if you have any questions, then you can just ask the questions for us. So if you want any services, it's there as well.
So we got to balance the scale a little bit. I know we kind of going over time a little bit, but I just want you to kind of recap a few great experiences that you done had in this year that you shared with us, that we was cheering for you over here. You know what I'm saying? Our champion. You know what I'm saying? So just a couple of those great experiences that you can share with us real quick before you go.
Okay, some of the great experience that I had here was breaking ground on the land that I purchased, and also getting the foundation and the house set up there. So that's very exciting. That's a positive experience. Other experience I have, sometimes I really don't share, because it's just so many things that are happening here on a daily basis that it's just I just can't take a picture of it, or I can't explain it. Other thing is riding in the convoy with the um, the Sotun Palace with the Chief Ni Osubu Akwe the first, and going to Homowo and running through the streets barefoot, celebrating the ancestors, singing and dancing, and that was a great experience, and that was two Homowos, and that happens once a year, and the one that was the very extreme one was the one in Kotoku, Ajin Kotoku. That was 10, I think it was 10 hours, almost 10 hours. We were in the street running and celebrating and blessing, and not me, but the priest and the chief and the royals in that area. And it rained, it was mud, we were walking through like water that was up to our thighs. I mean, it was just such an awesome experience, and it was so much energy, and I was just surrounded by like just some great people. um, Doing our first tour, that was exciting, and I was very wore out with that first tour, and it was a 12-day tour. That was a lot for a first timer like me. But those are some of the few experiences that I had. Like I said, some things I experience every day, and I just can't take a picture of it. I just have to just enjoy, enjoy life, enjoy the experience as they come along. Meeting some very great entertainers.
Mm.
Oh, like Asajafo, the simple entertainer, Ross Cuckoo, um, Conqueror Ja Vibes. There's so many artists that I met that I didn't even know who they were, and they're great reggae artists. One day we have to do a show on that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do that.
I
Let's do
would
that.
like.
Let's do that. Something like that. Let's set it up. You already know.
Mm, you have to see some of these people. It's just they're amazing. They're great artists. Um, Also experience them. Lucky Mafia Ross. He's a great MC as introducing acts, and you have to experience that one too. I think you might have seen some of the videos there. Those concerts are awesome. If you're in Ghana and you haven't come to any of these concerts, the concerts are free. They're always energized and they're always fun. So when you get here too, knowledgeable, and you're gonna have to go to some of these concerts with us.
We going. We are going. It's
You
a wrap.
gotta go.
You left out your naming ceremony, so I guess we'll say that story for next time. You know what I'm saying? We'll
Okay,
save it.
that would be good. I'll be with you for a while.
Word. So you got any final remarks, any acknowledgement, shout outs? You know everybody watching. You know what I'm saying? So, you can shut your fam out, that's watching and that's gonna watch. You see what I'm saying before we go.
um, I'll just give a shout out to all the Sotum Mensi family, uh, And who else? Just the family here, everybody who like made my first year here incredible and exciting, and people who were very helpful. I thank you so much for everything that you've done, encouraging and just accepting me into Ghanaian lifestyle. My friends, Novella, Lali, Gina. Gina's in the States. She's doing great things too, but she also uh, gave encouragement as well. I'm just thankful. I want you to look over this video, my friends in the diaspora, and just remember the things that, I'm saying. If you have any questions, you can always ask or put it in the comments on the video. But just don't lose your head when you get here. Just don't romanticize so much about, you know, the place where you're going. Just keep your head, keep your wits about you. You know what I'm saying? Just be real with yourself, just like you are in the States.
Right.
That's it. That's all I have to say. You just got to keep your wits, got to be smart. Mm.
Yeah, give my love to the mama. We did the interview, the last interview that we did. She was on the coast, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Booked them, she had the book, she has the story out there.
Yes. She's
Yeah, give
what she's doing some great things too. She's not online anymore because she's focusing more on her renewable resources with Peter Brown, um, Grand Rising. Oh wow, he's doing great things. But they teach the youth how to use solar power in order to power their villages or cell phones. This is a great project that she's working with. Maybe I'll come up that way and then we can do something.
right, right,
But I tell her you say hello.
right. You give her my love and shout out to Yazid also.
Oh yes, Yazid Muhammad. Yes, yes, yes. He's doing great things too now. Everybody's like moving and shaking. We're not online as much because we're, you know, offline working hard.
Right. Well, thank you for your time. I know we went over time a little bit. Um,
Okay.
Everything was all of the jewels. Hopefully, people go back and they get their minds together and maintaining situational awareness is very key and very critical. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like we naturally do it. We were trained a certain kind of way, but many of us, you know, get in that mind frame. And that's it's not.
Mm-hmm.
You look like a mark out there. You looking up and
Oh,
you doing too
exactly.
much of this. You doing too
I'm
much
walking
of
going
that.
back. Exactly.
Yeah, they
We
like,
going
oh
back
yeah, we
home in a
got
minute.
we gonna eat tonight. We're gonna eat good.
Tell you a whole snack. So
All
thank
right,
you so
family, we
much.
out.
All right. Thank you. Peace and light. Thank you, knowledge.